Hello there, I'm Corel Painter Master Rutten, and in this video I'll explain the differences between Corel Painter 2016, 2015, X3, and 12. So first of all, Corel has actually made a nice comparison chart, and you can find that by doing a search for Corel Painter versions, and it's this top PDF called Compare Painter Versions. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. And Corel has done a really good job of breaking down all the differences between each of these versions of their software. However, I thought I would improve upon this chart a little bit by adding some colors, so I'll just pop those in. The teal color represents Painter 2016 only. The orange represents Painter 2015 only. Purple represents Painter X3, and yellow represents Painter 12. And just to clarify for people who don't know, Painter 2016 is the newest version, Painter 12 is the oldest of the four versions. So let's go ahead and start with what's available in all four versions of Painter here. First of all, there's markers and photo painting. If we move on over to the second page, you can see that there's gradients and patterns, weaves and nozzles. There's also high quality display rendering, which means that when you look at your artwork on screen, it's going to look nice and high quality. There's the clone source palette, which helps you clone. There's the image navigator, enhanced library management, and the recent brush list, which shows you a few of your most recently used brushes. I believe masking tools is a typo, so we'll skip that. There's the transformation tool. Older versions of Corel Painter, like Painter 12, have perspective grid guides, but those guides were greatly improved in Corel Painter X3 to aid you in drawing in perspective. There's a rotate canvas feature, dodge and burn. There's the divine proportion composition tool and the layout grid composition tool. If we go to the third page, there's support for Adobe Photoshop PSDs. There's Wacom tablet support. There's Wacom multi-touch support. Microsoft Windows 7, 32, and 64-bit are supported across all four versions. Multi-core processing is supported across all four of these versions. 64-bit processors are supported across all four of these versions, though we'll look at which ones actually support 64-bit processing a little bit later. There's support for ICM, color sync, and PNG. So if we go back up to the top here, you can see that there's these purple and blue areas, and these represent 32-bit or 64-bit processing. So down here it says 64-bit support Windows only, which means that if you had a 64-bit processor and you were using an older version of Painter that was still 32-bit, it would still run on a 64-bit machine. However, Painter itself doesn't become 64-bit until Painter 2015 for both Windows and Mac. You can see that indicated here. And 64-bit basically means that it's going to run faster on modern computers that use 64-bit. So basically, Corel Painter 2015 and 2016 are going to run quite a bit faster than Painter X3 and Painter 12 because of 64-bit support. So let's go back to the first page, and we'll take a look at what's been added from Corel Painter X3 on. Universal jitter was added in Corel Painter X3 that can jitter the edge of your brushstroke to make it look more organic. Now, as I mentioned earlier, perspective guides were updated in Corel Painter X3, so that's the modern version that you see here. Crosshair cloning with embedded source was added, that aids you in cloning. Artist-inspired color mixers were added in Corel Painter X3. Those are some color mixers from Corel Painter Masters. The reference image panel was added in Painter X3, which lets you place a reference image within a panel in Corel Painter. It's very helpful. The brush search engine was added in Painter X3, which lets you search for a brush by name. Smart brush controls were available in Painter X3, as well as real-time brush preview. Let's go to the third page. And we can see that added in Corel Painter X3 is support for Microsoft Windows 8, and that's for 64-bit computers only. So if you have a computer that's using Windows 8, I don't believe you'll be able to use Corel Painter 12. However, as I mentioned before, if your computer uses Windows 7, you can use all four of these versions. Let's go on back to the first page again, and let's take a look at what was added in Corel Painter 2015. The particle brushes were introduced in Corel Painter 2015, which gives you some really interesting random brush strokes. The particle brushes can kind of move and dance around and do a lot of really interesting things following the laws of physics. And there's basically three different categories of particle brushes. There's gravity, spring, and flow. Universal jitter has been improved a little bit by adding smoothing to it. So now when you jitter your brush stroke, you can apply a little bit of smoothing and you get a little more control over the jitter. Simple brushes are a category of brushes that were added in Painter 2015. Temporal brush controls, I think they mean the temporal color palette, which was added in Corel Painter 2015, which lets you pop up a palette right near your brush and then it disappears when you're done using it. This might be a typo here too for brushstroke preview. I believe that was probably added in X3. I'm not positive about that, but it's not that important. Touch-friendly icons means that the icons were improved to be a little bit easier to touch on a tablet. That was added in Corel Painter 2015. The simplified toolbox was added in Corel Painter 2015, as well as the command bar. Let's move on over to page 3. RTS support was added in Corel Painter 2015 for tablets like the Surface Pro that support RTS for their pens. I have no idea what 2-in-1 or dual personality means. Probably has something to do with being compatible with tablets. CPU enhancements improve the speed and performance of Corel Painter. Those were added in Corel Painter 2015. And Windows Touch support was added in Corel Painter 2015 as well. So now we're left with the features that were added in the newest version of Painter, which is Corel Painter 2016. Those are the dynamic speckle brushes, the audio expression palette and capabilities, which can make your brush move and change shape and color based on sound coming in through your microphone or music you're listening to. In Painter 2016, you can now add the particle technology to the impasto technology, as well as add particles to liquid ink and particles to watercolor. You can also add particles to real watercolor and particles to dynamic speckles. This has really made it possible to create a lot of nice organic looking effects using the new brushes. One of my favorite features that I've been waiting for ever since Painter 12 is the ability to blend without getting white edges, and so that's the new enhanced layer blending feature. Moving on down, there's been enhancements to real watercolor and airbrushes. Real bristle technology has been enhanced, as well as acrylics, blenders, cloners, digital watercolor, erasers, impastos, oils, sumi-e, and watercolor. Going over to page 2, there's been enhanced content. So content is like the papers and patterns and weaves and things like that. Flow maps are available in all 4 versions of Painter, and they control the flow of liquid media. The paper textures have been enhanced, meaning that they've added more paper textures. And another excellent feature in Corel Painter 2016 is the ability to rotate your paper and your flow map. A new brush palette arrangement was added. They also added the ability to customize the user interface and to change the UI color options so you could make the user interface lighter or darker if you like. Brush hints, which shows you a little tooltip about what some of the features do, but they were enhanced in Corel Painter 2016 by adding visual tooltips. The document views have been enhanced in Corel Painter 2016, as well as content sharing. Let's move to the 3rd page, and the last 2 features that were added in Corel Painter 2016 are the ability to import Photoshop ABR brushes, so you can bring your Photoshop brushes into Painter and paint with them and customize them. And last but not least, brush performance is 3 times faster in Corel Painter 2016 compared to Corel Painter 2015. So there you go, that's a detailed breakdown of the differences between each version of Corel Painter listed here, Painter 2016, 2015, X3, and 12. I hope that answers some of your questions about the software, and if you want to learn more about using Corel Painter 2016, I have a great video course available on gumroad.com/Aaron Rutten. It's called Corel Painter Essential Skills. And if you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe so that you can join me for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.